How's everybody doing today? It's the Chase Carter podcast for Thursday, December 17th. What's going on? NBA's coming back, preseason's going on, video game kerfluffery with the supposedly the biggest video game launch ever. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a really good game, and everyone needs to calm down. And Cyberpunk having issues. But let's get into it. What have I been doing lately? Trying to nothing much. Just video games. Just trying to. We're in California. We can't go anywhere. Everywhere's shut down. You can't even eat outside. Granted, it's December. They closed it down during the coldest time of the year, which is kind of suspicious. During the summer months, let's keep it open. But now in the winter. But since the UV rays apparently kill COVID at certain temperatures, now it's a lower temperature. We all got to stay inside. Unless you're one of the politicians, then they can go out and do whatever they want to. Starting off with politics. Good job, Chase. Been doing nothing. My job is basically don't go outside and bring back anything that'll get Corey sick. So she gets to keep working. That's my job, and I make that sacrifice. I make it for her because I care about her, and also I don't like people very much, and I'm not very social anyways. So I just stay inside, video games, movies, and I keep Corey entertained, if you know what I'm saying. Keep her entertained, which is a job in itself. She should pay me, really, because she's a handful, to say the least. But yeah, nothing too big going on. Let's see, we've been playing Sea of Thieves. Nothing really going on. I tried to get her to play Dead Space. I think I talked about that last week. Didn't work out. I showed her the creators of Dead Space, the developers of Dead Space, are making a new game called Callisto Protocol. And they released a CG trailer. I showed it to her, and she didn't get scared from the trailer. 10 seconds in, she was like, "Nope, not. I don't want to watch it." And I said, "No, I got her to watch." And then the rest of the trailer, she was fine. She thought there was going to be a jump scare, but there really wasn't. It was just kind of creepy imagery kind of stuff. But that game looks awesome. If you're looking for a game in the future, of course, this is probably going to be a few years, and also a game making a comeback. Is Mass Effect. They announced, of course, they're gonna release a collection, a Mass Effect collection of 1, 2, and 3. Then they're gonna release a brand new Mass Effect. And they're working on, and then with the original crew, because Andromeda wasn't with the original crew. So if you didn't like Andromeda, I liked it. It was fine. I still have to beat it, but I'm a good ways through it. But they're gonna, bring up the old crew, and you're gonna have nostalgia returns, which is smart, which is a very intelligent way to do it. You take the thing people want away, and then you bring it back to them. Of course, like with the Halo games, they tried to get you to not be the Master Chief and other Spartans. People kind of liked it. Hit or miss, you were a ODST dropship trooper, orbital dropship trooper, and people kind of like that, didn't like it. And then when they became the Master Chief again, that's when the nostalgia comes back in here, and you get really into it. It's a very clever technique that at least wrestling has been doing for a very long time. I mean, Ric Flair and Hulk, they bring those guys back out, and just as that music hits, all of the 30, 40-year-old, 50, 60-year-olds turn into little kids again, and they scream. But yeah, and then there's another game that was Back for Blood. That's what it was. Back for Blood is the sequel to Left 4 Dead. So if you like the co-op zombie shooter that was on the Xbox 360. You will, same creators, they're going to do it, but except just better next gen version of it. Really looking forward to that game. I'll probably play it once or twice and then be done with it. If it doesn't have a story, if it's not really that engaging, I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. Okay, there's something I want to talk about. Space Jam: A New Legacy. Now, I thought Space Jam. I'm going to go off on a tirade because I jokingly dislike LeBron James. And even though when he said all I cared about, he was in an interview and he was talking about him and Kyrie Irving's fallout. He said all I cared about in Cleveland was him. That's all I cared about is him being successful, him winning a championship. And I was just like, you piece of garbage. That is not what you care about. Your legacy, yours. Yes, you enjoy helping other people along the way. I'm not saying you don't. You're not a heartless, villain. But stop acting like the only reason I came was for him, and for him not to get that. I was hurt. I was hurt. If you spend any time with Kyrie, you know that he's not normal. He's not a normal person. So what are you talking about? You went there because you knew he was good and that you could trade Andrew Wiggins for Kevin Love. I was going to say Kevin Hart. Kevin Love. Oh, unbelievable. All I cared about. No, you cared about winning a chance. You went to Miami because there was no chance to winning in Cleveland. Cleveland bottomed out, got multiple number one draft picks, and then you went back there because they had assets because you left. Anyways, he's involved in, I don't know how this is going about, but this is I want to read to you. Remember Space Jam, the really cool movie with Michael Jordan in it? It's cartoons, it's Looney Tunes, and it's really fun. And it's called Space Jam, and it takes place in space. Well, this new one doesn't, because there was an Xbox ad that I clicked on, and it said, come up with a story for the new Space Jam video game, and write in. And then I was like, this seems like but it's going to be a small, probably mobile type game, small indie, quick little couple hour game or whatever. So you decide what type of game it is, strategy, sports, like brawler sports, like just a mismatch of different things. I want to type this in. Space Jam 2 story. A basketball superstar finds LeBron James. It's so annoying. It's beyond annoying. No, not the original Space Jam. Well, let me read, actually, the 1996. Geez, that was a long time ago. I want to see the actual story here. Warner Brothers released theatrically in November 15th. Oh, that's Halo's anniversary. Plot. In 1973, a young Michael Jordan tells his father he wants to go to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill to play in the championship team, then go to the NBA. A compilation of highlights from Jordan's career includes highlights, whatever. Jordan announced his retirement from basketball. Meanwhile, the outer space, the amusement park, Moron Mountain, faces decline. Its owner, Mr. Swackhammer, sends his minions, the Nerdlucks, to Earth to abduct the Looney Tunes as an attraction. Upon the Nerdlucks' arrival, Bugs Bunny and the other Tunes take advantage of the Nerdlucks' small stature and challenge them to a basketball game. Through a documentary of basketball, the Nerdlucks learn that the sport's best players are employed in the NBA and accept the proposal after stealing the talents of NBA players Charles Barkley, Sean Bradley. So they steal all these the talent from the NBA players, and then they're the Monstars, and they're actually aliens. There's space travel. There's actual stuff, Looney Tunes space travel. So this is Space Jam: A New Legacy's plot. This bothered me a lot more than it should have. When basketball champion and global icon LeBron James and his son Dom, who dreams of being a video game developer, You don't dream of being you go to school. You want to be a video game developer, and you go to school for it. It's not like a person as LeBron James dreams of being an NBA superstar. See, that has actual. You don't dream of having a normal job. I dreamt of being a landscaper. Like, no, people can enjoy that, but you don't dream of one day I have my own hedge clippers. It's not something you dream of. They're putting video game developing on a pedestal. Go ask the people over at CD Projekt Red if this is the scenario they dreamed about. Anyways, who dreamed of being a video game developer, are trapped in a digital space by rogue AI. James must get them home safe by leading Bugs and Lola Bunny and the whole gang of notoriously undisciplined Looney Tunes to a victory over the AI's digitized champions on the court. Oh, I think I lost connection there, it says. Okay, but I think we're back. I think we're okay. So, anyways, if you didn't hear that, for some reason the audio things had disconnected. Let me make sure. Okay. Got everything going. I got a really expensive setup here. I'm very upset about that. The whole James must get them home safely by leading Bugs and Lola Bunny and the whole gang of notoriously undisciplined Looney Tunes to victory over the AI's digitized champions on the court. Now, this is just something I thought of in 5 minutes because it doesn't take a genius to understand. You know what we're going to do? We're going to take Space Jam and we're going to it's not going to take place in space, and it isn't going to have any aliens in it either. Well, that's a great idea, but it's called Space Jam. Do you want to just make another movie with LeBron James called something else? No. We have to make it Space Jam because LeBron wears number 23, and so did Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan made a movie called Space. He's a basketball player, so we're going to put him in the same kind of movie. That's a genius idea. I love that idea. Now, how do we get around the whole outer space thing? Well, it's a digital space. And it's a new legacy. And LeBron James' son has to help out. He gets into some shenanigans and the father has to help out. Here, okay, this is the real Space Jam 2 story. Okay? LeBron James he's retiring. Okay? His body's breaking down. He's getting older. Okay, this is a fictional world where LeBron James actually gets older and feels pain and is hurt. He's going out of the league. He has a send-off retirement like Kobe Bryant. The last season, everyone's saying goodbye, and it culminates in the last season, in the last game of the season, where they bring out NBA legends to say goodbye or whatever, and they're panning through, and there's a seat empty. And on the name, and it has the names of the NBA legends there. So this is another time to promote the history of the NBA. You can show up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar you can have Charles Barkley there from the last time or whatever, and he won't. He's kind of scared to be out in public because he has his you can even do that. You can have phobias. The old players who have their talents, that now they're legends, they have their talents, who had their talents removed from the first game, are really paranoid about touching anything or doing anything because of those aliens. You can even have them go through therapy trauma and just kind of on the couch freaking out. He's like, I dream about sucking. Well, and he wakes up, you don't suck. You're good at basketball. There's something there that a smarter person could fix. Anyway, so the Michael Jordan seat is empty, and everyone thinks it's a big diss. It blows up on Twitter and Instagram. Michael Jordan disrespects LeBron James not showing up at his retirement ceremony, but LeBron knows Michael would never miss that unless it's an emergency, so he tries to get hold of Michael Jordan, and he can't. His cell phone goes directly to voicemail. His assistants, you can even have the Stan, his name's Stan. He's the actor who was in Seinfeld and Jurassic Park. He can be like Michael's personal assistant. Hasn't seen him Okay, but he's real suspicious. He's being suspicious, nervous, and you don't know really what's going on with Stan. You're like, I don't know. And then he brings up golf. He's like, he might be golfing with Bill Murray. He goes off on these golfing resort retreats and doesn't come back for a few weeks. That's where he might be. So Bill Murray is also hard to get a hold of. He's out on this golf course. LeBron has to go there himself and do it. So he goes out there and interrupts Bill Murray during a game of golf. Okay. They're talking. Bill doesn't know where he is. He's like, yeah, he was supposed to be here. He didn't show. It's like, where is that guy? What's the problem? And then LeBron's getting frustrated. Nobody knows where Michael Jordan is. So he goes to walk away, and then Bill says, hey, I got a little wager for you. He's like, oh yeah. Oh no. He says, oh yeah, I forgot about Michael's secret cell phone number. And LeBron goes, secret? What are you talking about? He's like, well, I was sworn to never give it out for any other reason. Me and about 3 other people have it. It's kind of an emergency golfing trip, whatever you want to say, a secret phone number. And he goes, I can't give it out. He's like, well, there's something I can maybe trade for it or bet you for it. He's like, if I hit this shot and say he's 100 yards away from the hole in golf, if I hit this shot in, you can say LeBron has to do something for him. Say, make a private message on Instagram for like Bill Murray's granddaughter or grandson that loves him, something along those lines. But if he misses, then Bill will give up the secret phone number to LeBron James. He's like, I like you. I'll probably miss, just a fun little gag. So he hits the shot. LeBron James is watching the shot. His back is to Bill Murray. He's watching the shot. The golf ball lands on the green, bounces a few times, starts rolling away from the hole, rolling away from it, not towards the hole. Bill Murray pulls out a cartoon-looking device, a device that's all shaded, looks like a Looney Tunes device, and then with joysticks, like a little controller, and he starts moving the joysticks, and the ball turns towards the hole. He's controlling the ball, and it goes in the hole. And LeBron James is like, what are you talking? He's like, I can't believe you made that shot. That shot didn't go in, LeBron James says. And Bill's like, well, you're more than welcome to go up and check. He's like, I'm on to the next hole. I know I made it. So then Bill goes to leave, and LeBron's like, son of a. So LeBron goes up to the golf hole, walks up to the green, sees the ball that's inside the cup, and then Bill goes, and then you can, what was it? Yeah, so he goes up, sees the hole. They cut back to Bill. Bill's like, well, I hope you can help, because I don't think I can do it anymore. I don't think I can help him this time. Bill says that. And then his caddy says, what'd you say, sir? He goes, oh, nothing. And LeBron James obviously doesn't hear that because they're far away from each other. So something's up. Something's amiss. And Bill knows something. Okay? Then LeBron James sees the golf ball in the hole. Golf ball in the cup. Goes to pick it up. A cartoon lasso comes up out of the hole. Of course, right? Grabs his wrist, pulls him down in it. Now he's in Looney Tune land like Michael Jordan. Okay? This was all a plan from Bill Murray from the start. He knew Michael Jordan was missing. He knew something was going on. Whatever. He goes down, meets all the Looney Tunes, just like Jordan did. So you can have all these different throwbacks to the first movie. Nostalgia, again. Nostalgia with purpose. So then the Looney Tunes explain that, they had this game for basically Michael Jordan before. He saved us. The thwack hammer, the leader of all the bad Moron Mountain, said he would never return, and he didn't, but his son did. And you can call him like Schwackhammer or something along those lines. His son came back, kidnapped Michael Jordan without even asking, put him on the planet, put that big ball and chain on him, and forced him to play one-on-one with paying customers, and they always lost. And they can even show the little cartoon image of that little kid doop, 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 going up to the basketball hoop and dunking it, and he's like, and you'll always lose. They can show that. They can reuse animation from 1996. It'll be great. So he's like, Michael Jordan's trapped there. He's not coming back unless we do something. And this guy, he wants, you can even, what was it? The Looney Tunes have went there, made a deal with him. He wants to, the son wants to avenge the basketball loss, what have you, of the Looney Tunes. So he made a deal saying you can bring one human in like last time for a game for Michael Jordan's life, basically. His savior or his whatever. So you can even do the whole alien stealing the talents again in the NBA, and you can have it be the NBA players have lost their talents again. You can have them in thinking it's part of another pandemic. Even you can use that. Also, you can have people in those biochem suits. Do that. So Michael Jordan has to play, or not Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's on the sideline, chained up, rooting for LeBron. You can even say like this is him passing the torch to LeBron James, what have you. So LeBron plays. Remember, he's old. He's retiring. He's not 100%. Okay. So so LeBron's going through all this, going through the game. Okay. He's first few quarters, he's fine. Then he starts breaking down because he's getting hurt. He's failing a lot. He's turning the ball over. He's missing jump shots. Monstars can even make fun of him. He's like, yeah, man, I knew you couldn't shoot jumpers. Like stuff that's real. Stuff that's been said about him his whole life. And then you can even flash like back to even this is a stretch, but sports announcers, talking heads, saying that he's washed up, he's not good, he's old, he can never shoot, he was never clutch like Michael Jordan, and here he is trying to save Michael Jordan. LeBron James was never like Michael Jordan, but here he is trying to save Michael Jordan's life, basically, from a bunch of Looney Tunes, a bunch of cartoon characters. So LeBron James near the end of the fourth quarter, say 5-6 minutes left, LeBron James they're getting almost blown out. They're down by 20 or so. They're losing. Okay, LeBron James just doesn't have it. He's too old. He can't do it. And if you want to bring his son in, this is where his son comes in and saves the day. He found, just like how Bill Murray showed up in the last one, and he was like he was the closer, the icer. You can have LeBron James. If LeBron wants to have his son in to where this whole father and son dynamic comes into play. LeBron James' kid comes in, subs in, and then he takes over and he helps the Looney Tunes to the next championship, or to the next NBA championship. I'm completely lost. This is all off. This is basically, I thought about it for 5 minutes, and I thought of this story that still needs to get ironed out. But this is way better than a digital space because his son wants to play a video game and a rogue AI traps them inside of a video game. I don't understand. I don't get it. I'll never understand it. If I can write a story in 5 minutes that's better than your Hollywood blockbuster sequel to one of the most beloved child movies, basketball, I would say, basketball fan childhood movies. I wouldn't say it's like renowned for, it's not Land Before Time, the first one, not all the freaking musicals that they released for no reason. But that's my Space Jam tirade. I of course wrote in, it was a 500-word little summary of this video game. And the first sentence I put, well, it's called Space Jam, so it should take place in space. That's what I said. It should take place there. It should occur. It should go down. The setting should be Looney Tunes in space. That's what it should be. Not digital video game Space Jam. That's not what it's called. Jesus. And I bet they wanted, the only reason that they wanted is because of this video game. The only thing they cared about was like, we want this movie to also be a video game that kids can play. We can double dip. We can have you can make a video game about the movie. Why are you shoehorning this thing in and making a property that just have a game where the Monstars play the Looney Tunes and then Michael Jordan and LeBron James are on the, now Just do that. Just do that. It's fine. No one's going to be upset. Bill Murray would do the movie just to play golf with Michael Jordan again. Tell Michael it's on. He gets to be on the golf course for a little bit. And Michael Jordan doesn't even need to be in that many scenes. You show him tied up on whatever, and he's showing emotions like, LeBron's losing, and he's shaking his head. And Michael Jordan's rooting on LeBron to take the mantle over. He's tired of carrying it. He's old. The man's old. Oh, I was so upset. I don't know what, not actually upset, but just, what are you doing? Hollywood, Warner Brothers. Is this why you don't see the WWB frog anymore? Because they have a whole bunch of people who aren't connected to the fabric of these stories, these great American stories like Space Jam. Oh, Jesus. I was just upset. Now, shifting news. Cyberpunk 2077. I've been playing it. My friend and I, Ray, recorded a podcast. Files got corrupted. Data got corrupted, so we can't release that. That one's pretty much shot. But we talked about it there, so that will never be heard by the dozens and dozens of people that listen to this podcast. So I want to talk about it here. Cyberpunk 2077. First of all, the way the developers, CD Projekt Red, hid the... If you don't know, it's a open world RPG that came out. This huge game. It came out, and of course there's different versions of the game. You can get it on PC, the new Xbox and PlayStation consoles. You can also get it on the old Xbox and PlayStation consoles. If you get it on the old consoles, it barely runs and is full of glitches. The newer consoles and PC, it runs passably or good. Well, the thing is, CD Projekt Red hid those versions, the old versions, from the media and customers. They didn't release any footage of anything on the old consoles. So when it came out on those things, it ran like shit. They did it for money so they can secure. Hold on. Sorry, I sneezed. I'll hold it in. You're welcome. So it was just bad business practice. They were trying to make their money, obviously. So when they did this, they got a lot of backlash. The stock price actually dropped. This is a very interesting. It dropped 29%. Now, I wish I can go on Robinhood and buy up some of that stock, but it's not traded by the U.S. Because I know it's just going to go right back up, because in 2 years, no one's going to even really... The game's going to be good. They're going to release free DLC, and people are going to be like, this game's great. And no one's going to really care about it. But it's just bad business practice. And I don't want to support. I pre-ordered the game because I enjoyed The Witcher 3. And I thought, and as far as the level of detail and quality of the game, it's good. Just like any other game, it has its issues. It's not going to be perfect. But as far as the story, how in depth it is, that's what I wanted. I wanted a good story, a world that you can be in and kind of get into the minutia of it. And that's what this game is. And it's successful for on that front for me. And I'm playing on the new console, so I don't have any of the issues that that other people do. So I'm trying to sympathize, but those poor people need to buy a new Xbox or PC. Let's get real. No. But yeah, so I won't be buying any of their games new anymore. I'll just be buying them used, so that way none of the money goes to the developer. And that's how I think all people who don't who enjoy the games a little bit but don't enjoy the business practices of that company. So say if you don't like EA, don't buy the next Madden brand new. Wait a few months, get it used on eBay. And that's if you enjoy a little bit of it. But if you're tired of how I'm tired of NBA 2K, it's a good game. I enjoy it, but there's so many issues that are in that game that were in it 15 years ago, 20 years ago, since the game came out. The game's only 22 years old. I think it was 2K is the first one, with Allen Iverson on the cover. Now, there have been server issues from the get-go. Players sliding all over the court, and every year they say with our new redesigned, built from the ground up foot planting technology, you won't have that anymore, and you still have it every year. And it's gotten incrementally better, of course, but don't oversell the game. Just say we made improvements on this. We've made improvements on this. Don't say we've rewritten it completely it was broken and we broke down the foundation and rebuilt it from the ground up. It's like, shut up. I don't believe you anymore. And until I see it, and the next gen version, that's the first thing they talked about. So I'm not gonna buy it. I'm gonna get 22 probably used after it came out and see how that is. I'm probably going to check in every 2 years on the 2K games. I'm still playing 2K20, still releasing videos on YouTube, 2 games a week, Mondays and Wednesdays. But I do want to see how the game, I mean, it's still a fun game. I'm not hating on it, but I don't like the business practices of making everything a microtransaction, making everything, you already sell millions and millions of copies. And then on top of that, you split the community into a My Team community where people have to give up, they buy VC to buy packs of cards to get, it's like you basically created this whole trading card ecosystem in your game. And then you have VC, you have to spend VC to buy attributes for your My Career. Now you can earn them, but people buy them. People, I don't want to wait. I don't want to waste the time. I'll spend an extra $50, get 250,000 VC, and then I go from a 70 to an 85 instantly, and have an advantage over people who aren't willing to buy the game twice. Basically, that's not fair. That's not good business practice. But then you have to play the game and earn all of the reputation afterwards to build it up. But it's just weird. It's just weird, and it feels dirty. It feels like you're dipping into my pockets multiple over and over and over and over and over again. So I never buy VC. I don't buy the game brand new anymore. And so and that's what I'm thinking I'm going to have to do. Now, CD Projekt Red doesn't release a game every year, so it won't be that big of a deal as far as that goes. But their next game, if they make another Witcher game, I'm not buying it brand new. Like, they've lost my, I guess, trust, you can say. Now, if you just release a bad game and it's bad, that's one thing. But releasing a game where you only show the PC footage or the next-gen footage, and you hide the next-gen versions of the game from media outlets so they can't review it to let the customer know how bad it is. Because they didn't want any bad. They wanted the bad press after the pre-orders. And they have enough pre-orders that they already are making money off of the game. They're already in the black. They're already profitable on this game. So it's so dirty. Now, if I was a company, would I do exactly the same thing? Probably, yes. If this was the biggest, I've spent the last 7 years making this game. Like, look, man, we need to make the money. Let's not tell anybody. But it runs at 10 frames a sec. Look, okay, those people are poor. Nobody listens to poor people. All right, we're going to make the money back. Okay, we're going to keep our jobs. We're going to continue to improve it. And they'll be upset for a few months. The stock price will drop. We'll buy more of the stock. We'll make money. And everyone will make even extra money. And everything will be happy. Everything will be fine. I think that's what they're doing. It's just... it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. But it's the same people who complain about NBA 2K and buy it brand new every year. And it's like, well, do you really hate it? Or is it the only basketball game out there and you have no other choice? Also, is it that? But when NBA Live was there, no one was playing NBA Live. And I remember that. The NBA Live 05 dunk contest was the best. And then 2K had a version. And then they made it a Guitar Hero button mashing side game. Just have it, put it in the thing where you roll the sticks and then press the triggers. And you do this cool timing thing where I actually control the person on the court. You have it in the game. Put it back in. You put all the old features back in. Put this one back in. Oh, but it's just interesting that they would do that with such a big title. I wonder the decision making behind the scenes. exactly what happened. I'm sure we'll find out eventually. Things will get leaked, how they always do. But yeah, like I said, let me look at my little news stories here. And then Assassin's Creed Valhalla got an update that paves the way. Let me see here. For the Yule Festival, basically Christmas. And in this article, they credited Vikings for the summer solstice. So sure, Fortnite may have its Winterfest and Overwatch has its Winter Wonderland, but Vikings practically invented the winter solstice. And Ubisoft is showing that off in Assassin's Creed Valhalla's free holiday update dubbed the Yule Festival. Y-U-L-E. Valhalla's Yule Festival runs from December 17th to January 7th, letting players collect some free cosmetics and play around with some new activities. Note, you'll have to complete part of the story to unlock this Yule Festival. The first thing players will likely notice is the expansion to Ravensthorpe, your home settlement. The settlement that players established as Ivor early on in the game. The area is much snowier as a result of the winter solstice, and the settlement has been decorated in preparation for festivities. Side activities include drunken brawls, the best kind, archery challenges, and others. You just list two. What other activities are there? Players who play throughout the activities will receive Yule tokens to exchange for cosmetic rewards like new outfits for Ivor. You have a tattoo set, a ceremonial outfit, ceremonial shield, sacrificial altar. Starting December 22nd, players can also purchase Niflhelm theme in Ubisoft Store, which includes a stunning blue set of winter armor, a reindeer steed. Nobody wants that. That's stupid. Reindeer steed. Swear to God. They always try to ruin stuff. Players who have artistic side can try their hand at Valhalla's community contest. Players can submit a photo or a video for a chance to win Valhalla's official art book and 50 euros worth of in-games Helix credits. That runs from December 17th to January 1st. Details can be found on the Assassin's Creed Discord or Twitter. Ubisoft says Yule season will continue until February with a new replayable River Raid mode and the addition of ranks for their Jams Vikings recruits you meet during your adventures. Now, Jams Vikings is, if you don't know the game, you play as a Viking. What would you say? Like big character. You're in charge of Ravensthorpe, your own Ravens clan type deal. You have a second in command. You create a character. Since you can't make the main character how exactly you want him, besides haircuts and beards and stuff, which is weird because in Cyberpunk you can't change your characters. You can't give them a beard in the game. You can only do that when you first create them. So you're stuck with, which they don't tell you, which is interesting. They should tell you, like, this is going to be your final. You cannot alter him other than your clothes. Should tell me that. Why can't I get a haircut in Cyberpunk? I can tear off my arm and put a metal one there, but I can't let my beard grow? What's going on? So they're going to release it as DLC, and then it's going to be a feature that they let you have. We're going to give you this that you should have had before. Say thank you. Your second in command, you create him. And then other Vikings, he'll show up in other people's games. They can hire him, put them on their crew. They can go raid, and then some of that plunder, the treasure, gets put into your game from him. But the stupid part is, I can't find it in my Friends Online. The Friends Online's second in command Jams Vikings should be showing up in my game. They're not. It's just random people who I don't know on Xbox Live. So why would I spend some of my silver to hire someone to give other people money that I don't know? They even have a list. It's like Friends Jams Vikings. Jam Viking. I don't know how to say it because I'm a little disheveled right now. Doesn't make any sense why they don't have that. Find my friend. I should be able to put that in. Find my friend. I should put his gamer tag in, and then his Jams Viking shows up. And I should be able to pick his. and then he can be a part of my crew. And I can go, oh, that's my friend Ray's Yams Viking. That's my friend Dylan's Yams Viking. That's my friend Ramel's Yams Viking. Something along those lines. But no, don't make the game more fun. Limit it. Limit it. Unbelievable. Anyways, a cool Assassin's Creed update's coming out. Oh, and another thing. I want to talk a little bit about the things I like and dislike about Cyberpunk that I've talked a little bit about. It's a little bit. It's interesting how I can notice something instantly about a video game, and it's a major problem that they could fix in a second, but it's not in the game. This game takes place in first person, so you're looking out the eyes of your character. There's no third person mode. You cannot zoom out and look at your character from behind unless you go into photo mode. Then you can see your character. So when you're driving, it looks really cool in first person. Now you can go into third person in the car and see your car and drive that way if you like, which is fine. But I want to be immersed. I want everything to be first person. Okay. If I had a choice, I would never leave first person because it's playable in that viewpoint. Some games are terrible in FPS, first person. FP, I guess you can say. So you get in the car, you walk up to the car, you get in it, you can go straight, you can look to your head to the left, you can look to the right about 90 degrees, but if you want to look behind you, you can't do it. So I'm like, oh, okay, there's going to be a rear view mirror somewhere. Nope. None of that. You can't even look at your side mirrors. There's no reflections. Maybe they did this because the game runs so poorly. But is there a backup? Can I get a backup camera? So if I want to go in reverse, I have to hit right on the D-pad. Then it zooms out into third person. Then I got to swing the camera around behind me. Or you press and hold the right thumbstick down, and then it clicks back behind you. Why can't I look behind me in the game? I'm cybernetic. I can hack into all these different things. You can make your skeletal structure titanium. You could replace tendons in your hands with metal rods, and then you have a better grip strength. You can do all these different things. But I cannot look behind me. It takes playing the game for 5 minutes, and I noticed it. As soon as I got my car, I wanted to reverse. Couldn't do it. The developers, hey, what can we do here? Well, if you look behind you, the back window's really small. Kind of in real life, some of the back windows are really small, and you can't do that. So what do people do? You put a rear view camera. So when you back up, there's a display. This takes place in 2077. There's flying cars, but there is no backup camera in sight. Doesn't make any sense. And also, I don't like subtitles in video games because when a character is giving a great performance and all of the emotion in their face, I want to see the graphics. I want to see how they tell the story, the camera angles, all of that. I'm dumb, and so I can't ignore the subtitles. I read them whenever they pop up. Something pops up on the screen, my eye goes towards it immediately, and I guess I have to train myself to look up. So I turn the subtitles off. I want to experience it just like in the movies. But then when a character speaks Japanese or Chinese or Spanish in the video game, they don't automatically show subtitles. You have to turn, if someone starts speaking a different language, I have to go into the menu, set the subtitles back on, and then the subtitles show up. So why can't the game recognize when it's not speaking English to put everything that's not English in subtitles? And this is a way, because it's all cybernetic. Again, Cyberpunk 2077. I should have a chip that I can put in to translate for me all the foreign languages. Could you do that, please? With having the subtitles off? Have foreign subtitles on. It's not difficult. This is something I ran into in the first part of the game. This lengthy dialogue thing happened in a different language, and I was just sitting there with my subtitles off going, oh, well, I can't speak that language, so my character in real life shouldn't know what they're talking about. But I had to know what they were talking about because they were giving me important, detailed information about a mission I was supposed to go on. So I had to go back, and I had to load the game back up to that previous state, turn the subtitles on, and go through that whole thing again. Why not just when you turn the subtitles off, foreign language subtitles on, please? Thank you. Ugh. Doesn't make any sense. Just baffles my mind. Other than all the bugs and all that stuff. That's something you can put in the game easily. Just doesn't make any sense. Just does not make any sense to me. Yeah, nothing much else about the game that bugs me. I'm liking the story missions. The world feels really dense and gritty. There's all these different alleyways that are tucked behind stores, and the GPS system in the game gets you going where you need to. I would like it to be in the world. So when you set a marker instead, because you look at the mini map in the top right corner of your screen, I would like it to be in the world, have maybe a small pathway light up in front of you. And that way you're looking in the world instead of at a mini map on the top right of your screen. I would like to see game developers track where people look while they play the video game, where they spend their eyes, where they look at on the screen. And if you're looking at all of the UI around the environment, that's not a good thing. You want your players to look and see the game that you created. Now, granted, the game's a glitchy mess, so maybe they don't want you to look too much at the game right now. It's like, who cares about that character that is low res, disappearing, coming in and out of existence? Don't look at that. Look at this cool mini map we got. Look at the cool subtitles down below. But it's just so many different things. And then, so now this news story came out. Twitch bans the use, bans words, new harassment crackdown. So bans the use of the word simp, which I don't know, incel, I've heard that before, and virgin. Can't use the word virgin. Last week, Twitch announced changes to its hateful conduct and harassment policy, including disallowing the use of terms such as simp, incel, and virgin when used in a derogatory fashion. Okay, derogatory. Now you have to determine what's derogatory. The new policy will start on January 22nd, so get all your incel and virgin comments in while you still can, and is effectively an update to Twitch's evolving hateful conduct guidelines. To that end, Twitch says it will look at the content of statements or actions in order to determine whether a behavior is abusive or violates our guidelines, rather than relying solely on the perceived intent, suggesting the company hopes to shut down bad actors who feign ignorance of unclear guidelines. Using terms like simp, incel, and virgin as an insult to negatively refer to a person's sexual activity is not allowed under this new policy. Twitch COO Sarah Clemens said during a Twitch town hall stream. They have town hall streams? Wow. In addition to the policy change, we're also proactively denying emotes that include the term simp, and we remove them when reported. And we'll keep doing that once the policy changes. Twitch also updated its hateful conduct and harassment policy page with the new section on sexual harassment. Twitch notes that sexual harassment can take a multitude of forms, including unwelcome sexual advances and solicitations, sexual objectification, or degrading attacks relating to a person's perceived sexual practices, regardless of their gender. Twitch's policy also includes more particular acts of sexual harassment, including privately messaging a user with unwanted compliments about their appearance, stating a person is sexually immoral because of their clothing or physical appearance, and the aforementioned use of the word virgin as well as whore. Oh, this is so funny. It's like, this is the internet trying to control the internet. It's great. Some of the worst vile people play video games, and they're trying to just, well, we like when people just watch us and are nice. We don't want them to make fun of us or tease us. Like, if someone, just block them. Someone, you have the option to block people. If they say anything derogatory, block them. Doesn't make any sense. Other notable inclusions are degrading another person by accusing them of having sexual transmitted diseases. Can't do that. That's bad. Suggesting a person's channel is popular only because of sexual favors. like he or she's giving out blowjobs for followers on Twitch, using the whisper function to send unwanted sexual comments to another user, commenting on someone's sexual prowess or lack thereof, threats of releasing revenge pornography. You can read the full story here. Twitch's policy states that it will look at streamers' actions when considering disciplinary actions against another user. That's funny. How developed a derogatory term for a man who is overly desperate for the affection of another person. Yeah, what are these words? I would love the definitions of simp. Like a sympathizer? Is that what it called? Is simp? What is the Urban Dictionary? Someone who does way too much for a person they like. So a guy, every high school guy, basically 99% of males, Brian, the simp, I bought her a car and a whole ass house, and we not even dating. That's the example. And we not even dating, bro. That's the, on a whole ass house. That's the Urban Dictionary version of simp. I didn't even know that. Well, the things you know now. What are the other words? Incel? I've heard that before, but I'm not too sure. I've never cared enough to look this shit up. And that's the thing about insults. When they get rid of certain words, people are just going to create other words. You're not real. This is over the course of human history. Incels, involuntary. Are members of an online subculture who define themselves as unable to find a romantic despite desiring sexual partners despite desiring one. Discussions of incel forums are often characterized by resentment, misogyny, misanthropy. I've heard that. Self-pity, self-loathing, racism. What racism? All of this just brought into there. A sense of entitlement to sex. At least 6 mass murders, resulting in a total of 44 deaths, have been committed since by men who have either self-identified as incels or had mentioned incel-related names and writings in their private writings or internet posting. Incel communities have been criticized by the media and researchers for being misogynistic, encouraging violence, spreading extremist views, and radicalizing their members. That got deep. Okay. The red pill or black. Okay. So they're people who think they deserve sex, or they're not they hate the other sex for not giving it to them. This sounds okay. Sounds like a bunch of angry dudes, basically, because they don't get laid. Oh. Well, instead of figure out what's wrong with you then. Like when I had long hair, I had a ponytail because I liked wrestling. I wanted to be a wrestler. So I grew my hair out long in high school because I thought after high school I was going to go to wrestling school, be a professional wrestler. And of course, I had no girlfriends. And probably because of my speech and the way I talked, I can't speak correctly. I don't swallow enough, so then a whole bunch of spit collects in my mouth. I don't understand. If you're not attracting other people, it's your fault. It's nobody else's fault. There's nobody that looks like Jennifer Aniston or Brad Pitt or Tom Hardy. There's nobody that looks like that and says, man, I just can't attract. You have to become attractive in your own way. And there are fat, disgusting people, especially males. They figure out the system. They say, how can I be fat? I don't want to go to the gym. What do hot girls like? They like money, a lot of them. so I'm going to make a whole bunch of money. They get by the system. So if you're a girl, and guys like girls with good personalities, and if you want to hook up with a guy that you like, you have to develop a good. You can't have no body. You can't be physically unattractive and also be a bitch and get what you want. That's not how things work. And you also can't be nice. You can't be overly nice. If you're overly nice, that's what the word simp is. If you're overly nice, no one wants a pushover, someone who's nice to them all the time. Be honest. And sometimes the truth hurts. But if you're not getting the kind of person that you want, it's your fault. And if you want it bad enough, you'll figure out a way to get what you want. Like, it'd be amazing if I could hook up with Minka Kelly. She's my favorite celebrity. She is amazing in my head. But I don't care enough to become a celebrity, to get into acting, to be in that world, to then hook up with her. I don't care that much about it. It's just a weird little fantasy I have in my head. I'm like, okay, when I was watching Friday Night Lights, she seemed, that character she played and pretend with, who she's not. She's probably a fucking handful, which is why she isn't married, hasn't been. She's a fucking headache probably. You wonder, like, how can Rihanna go so long being single? It's because they're a nightmare to be with, because they always want to do something. Women in general are headaches. I'm going to go off on this whole women tangent. Women in general are so busy and have to do things all the time. Could you imagine? And that's just normal women. Could you imagine a woman who's dialed up even more, 10, 12 notches above that, who's super successful and has all of these goals all the time, like just ratchet it up? Just I have to do this. 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 I have this project over here. I have this project over here. I would lose my mind. I was like, look, Minka, it's not going to work out. I'm sorry. But you're just a guy that works at Winco. I don't care. I'm leaving you. I'm leaving. You always want to do stuff. You never just want to stay in. The only time you stay in is if there's a pandemic. And then all of a sudden staying in is cool. All of a sudden. I just don't understand. And you say women shouldn't. This is another thing. These female Hollywood celebrities, you see how crazy they are and they have nothing to do. They're legitimate crazy people. They play dress up and record it and put it on Instagram. And now, if you're Kate Beckinsale and you're incredibly hot, it's cool. I'll watch it, but it's also really weird. You're playing dress up with your cats. You have all these gay guy friends come over. You're playing dress up. And it's just this weird, awkward world where you want to play pretend and dress up and you can't do it because Hollywood shut down. But you're getting that out in, I guess, a healthy way. You're being happy so it doesn't really bother anybody. But that's weird. It's a little weird. And also women, who else do I follow? I thought was funny. Olivia Munn. I'll always back her, even though she said she said a few things that obviously I don't agree with, but besides the point. She was a video game nerd, G4, ride or die. She's my ride or die chick. She was this woman in power movement. Women should be able to do anything they want. They should get out. They're not just stay in the anti, stay in the kitchen, cooking, all that stuff. Very anti. I can do this. I can be in movies. I can be an action star, which they can. No problem. Go be it. Now the whole world's shutting down. They're making cooking Instagram videos the past 5 days. I don't know if this is sponsored, but she's making cookies and all this. It's like, this is the exact thing that you said you don't like about women in society, and and it's the most. It's not even 1 or 2 little 10-second videos. It's 30. I can't even see the division in the bars at the top of her Instagram. It's so much. And nobody's watching all of those. Nobody. I have a huge inappropriate crush on her. I'm skipping through them. I'm like, no, not fun, not entertaining. Nope. Nobody wants to. You're gorgeous, but nobody wants to watch you cook. Nope. And especially you're not good at it. Very, very small. And how most people don't want to listen to me talk. I understand. We have to understand your not role in society, but what does you can do whatever you want to do. I talked myself out of that one. She can do whatever she wants, obviously. But if you're so anti-cooking and then you make a whole bunch of videos about you cooking, it's a little weird. It's a little hypocritical. And then she's probably, I don't know about her politics, she's probably left-leaning. Which is fine. So you can lean whichever way you want. But it seems to be always the left is hypocritical. Beyond belief. I start with politics and I end with politics. That's a great podcast. People will listen to you, Chase, all the time. But yeah, it's been an hour. I appreciate any of you who stayed this long. I don't know what I'm doing here. Trying to get through the pandemic. I can't go outside. If I go outside, Gavin Newsom's going to lasso me, pull me down, run me through the streets, make an example out of me. But yeah, so I appreciate you guys listening if you did. That's been the Chase Carter Concept Podcast for Thursday, December 17th. And I will be here next week and the week after and the week after. I'm not going to stop. Never stop, never settle. All right, you guys take it easy. Easy on you. Big addition, I can roll.